A very good afternoon to you. Many thanks for joining us on TV 47. Welcome to Newsfeed. My name is Mombi Chege. Now, Nairobi Senator Johnson Sakaja has apologized for flouting COVID-19 containment measures on Saturday. Sakaja presented himself at the Kilimani police station to record a statement over his arrest in a city club. He has also resigned from Senate ad hoc committee on COVID-19. A committee he has been chairing. Sakaja will be arraigned in court tomorrow.
Or any political office. What is surprising was everything else apart from that. And as I've said, I will bear responsibility for the legal issues. But the fact that the whole of Saturday and Sunday, more than 50 officers brandishing guns have been going to my residence. I'm not a fugitive. My children have not committed any crime. Why come intimidate them with guns? 50 officers. I am not on the run. I called Ndolo, I told him, if you want me to appear, I'm a leader, I'll appear. My firstborn son is 8 years old. My secondborn son is 6 years old, turning 7. My daughter is a year old. Why send 50 officers 5 times? Why stake out outside my house to capture me, to keep me here for the weekend? So if it's anything else, I am ready to deal with anything else. But on flouting the rules, I apologize to Kenyans, and I will pay the full consequence of the law. I also wish to state that I resign from the ad hoc committee on COVID, which I've been chairing. We have done a lot of work so far. I support the work that the government is doing, and the officers, I think they're doing a good job across the country. But because of that responsibility and the example that I need to set, I have this morning officially written to the Speaker about that. I mean, that is not my character. Sijatishia mtu, sina nguvu ya kufuta mtu kazi ama kutransfer mtu. Ni vile ile mambo mengine ambayo iliendelea ndio ilinionyesha ni mambo mengine. Yeah? Yaani hadi hata kupigwa ngumi mimi. If it was just about being outside after 9, that would be one thing. So I think ni sawa. Kweli yote itatoka. But nafikiri vile nimesema ya kwamba sote tufuate maagizo. Mimi ni binadamu kama mtu yote mwingine, kama wewe. Hakuna mtu ambaye ni malaika. I'm not an angel.
The Kazi Mtaani initiative has been praised in Mombasa County by the Deputy Commissioner Coast Region, Francis Kazungu. According to Kazungu, the initiative has enabled youth to get employment as a way of curbing rampant crime experienced in the area. The Deputy Commissioner also praised the youth for their volunteering. 2,029 youth from Likoni have been registered to the initiative, while 2,275 youth from Kisauni have also been registered.
Tumeweza kuandikisha vijana 2020. Kati ya hao 67 ni supervisors ama wasimamizi, na tunayo maeneo 8 ambayo tunashughulikia katika wodi 5, na najikakamua kabisa katika utenzi wa kazi zenyewe ambazo tunaziangazia zaidi ni ukusanyaji wa taka kama vile mnavyoona hapa na kuzichoma. Pia vile vile tumeweza kusafisha mitaru katika barabara zetu.
And elsewhere, Kenyans of goodwill have been challenged to move swiftly and help equip youth who have been greatly affected by job losses during the COVID-19 pandemic. Meanwhile, 69 youth from Embu County have benefited from the Tujiajiri program sponsored by KCB Bank that is structured to ensure the youth are equipped to be self-employed and eliminate the joblessness.
Employers, sio? How do you employ? You first employ yourself, sio?
Them that have done electrical, wale wamefanya carpentry, tuwe employer, si ndio? Leo sisi ni waajiri, si sawa? Now, okay.
Women rep for gracing this occasion. Let's also.
And I would also want to call upon other institutions in Embu to help us eliminate this pandemic of joblessness with our youth who have been to school and have no work to do, by engaging them in such courses that tomorrow they will be employers and they will be able to do or to have a meaningful life.
Nilikuwa nafanya plumbing and fitting pale Sagana Technical. Nimebenefit sana na siku ya leo niko na furaha kwa sababu tumepewa tools na KCB Bank. Okay, tools zangu na plan ku utilizing them in the best way. Nikuwe self-employed, I can start a small business.
Now, after the closure of schools, students and pupils have been forced to find an alternative means to continue with their studies. About 80% of the students are missing out on virtual classes set up following the closure of learning institutions as part of coronavirus containment efforts. Now, these huge numbers are likely to lose even more before January, when schools are presumed to open. In our special report, we look at their lives after schools closed. Here is Andrew Kilemi with the details.
Students and pupils have been home and will remain here for the next 6 months. We look at their lives after schools were closed. Did learning stop for them? How are they surviving? And what next for them?
Kusoma ni tricky, inabidi uende library. Kuenda library pia maybe mama anakataa. Anakushuku since we ni msichana.
Such is life for most learners in the country and has been the case since March 15th, 2020, after the Kenyan government abruptly closed schools in response to COVID-19, disrupting nearly 18 million learners across the country. In Kibra constituency, Nairobi County, we meet Hellen Akinyi, a Standard 8 candidate in one of the primary schools within Kibra. Hellen spends the better part of her days washing clothes or cleaning the utensils or even cleaning the house. This has been her routine since the closure of schools. She rarely gets time with her books, and when she does, she walks for about 3 kilometers to her school, where she uses one of the classrooms to do her personal studies. She says learning from home has proved to be difficult.
Learning at home is so hard because the noises of children outside, the loud music. Studying at home is so hard. So sometimes I come here to school, study for at least 1 hour, and then go back home.
Her mother says Hellen is worried about repeating a class in the coming year and more worried about her grades. She has had to have some important and inspiring conversations with her daughter, who at some point was becoming stubborn and unmanageable.
Mtoto analia shule kila wakati, hata ukimpea hata kitu afanya analia tu shule. Juu amependa shule. Sasa mimi namtuliza tu nyumbani. Kaa tu kwa nyumba mama siku zitafika. Juu sasa hapa kwa nyumba alikuwa na stress. Stress sana ndio imeongezeka. Sasa mimi namtuliza tu corona iko. Usiende shule. Hakuna shule bado.
When schools reopening was pushed to 2021, Hellen opted to use her time to go through her old notes. Online learning for her is a challenge. She says her strongest subjects include mathematics, social studies, and English. Her dream is to get at least 400 marks in the national exam.
Many children have the problems of studying at home. So we'd like the government to help us learn.
We set to find out what life is like for other learners in the area. And in our pursuit, we find these children crowded in one corner of the veranda just outside their house. This is their new classroom, or so is it. They have made a jiko from an old tin, which they use to make lunch. Rice is ready. They are now boiling some indomie before frying eggs. I was curious to know whether that food would be enough for every single one of them, but they say it will only be shared among those that contributed to have the meal ready. 1 kilometer from here, we find Mark Nyayema. Nyayema is a Form 4 candidate at Etana Secondary School in Nyamira County. He is now a barber. His father used the wall to his house to set up this small room.
Nikamuuliza Kenya anahitaji. Kaniambia kile kiko karibu ndiye atafanyia. So nilikuwa na mashine ya welding, niko na mashine ya kinyozi, na niko na computer yake alikuwa anacheza nayo games. So na niko na kaukuta pale. Ilibidi hiyo ukuta to utilize. Katengeneza kanyumba hapo May. Ndio nikamuintroduce na hizo machines. Akaanza tu kinyozi na vitu ndogo ndogo tu kufundisha watoto kompyuta. So riziki anapata na hapo.
Amkanga asubuhi naenda nafungua works yangu ya kinyozi, ama saa nyingine naenda kusaidia wazazi wangu kwa welding. Ndio napata my daily living.
Mark spends most of his time at this barber shop. Sometimes he helps his dad in welding and is only left with the night when he gets time to look at his notes.
Nilikuwa nimeplan vizuri kama naenda kupita vizuri. Sasa hii vile wametukatizia shule sasa imepunguza ile morality yangu ya kuenda kupasa. Lakini sasa sijatulia bado, nila kusoma tu bado.
At Mzee Fred OKOMOL household, which houses 11 children, life has not been easy.
Nimekuwa na shida. Watoto wakienda shule saa zingine, hata wewe mzazi una relax. Unaweza kuwa na mawazo kidogo, lakini kumbuka hali ya kukua bila kasi kama mzazi, watoto wanakaa kwa nyumba na unakaa the whole day. Ni mimi ndio najaribu kuwa kama mwalimu. Toka asubuhi inabidi niwapatie, nikuwe na timetable yangu na wao. Wanasoma kidogo kidogo ile material ambayo tuko naye, lakini haiko sawa. Ile nikipata kitabu naomba. Saa zingine tunatumiwa masomo kutoka kwa shule ya hawa wa primary. Ndio wanajaribu polepole na iko sio rahisi, ni ngumu. Ni ngumu. Hali hii hata fadhali watoto kama huyu sasa angemaliza form 4. Ningekuwa naweza kurelax kidogo.
His son Dan Okring, a Form 4 candidate at Masinga Boys Machakos, who sells water for a living, says learning from home hasn't been easy. His dream of joining Kenyatta University next year has literally been halted.
Nilikuwa nimepanga nifanye vizuri nipate B+, niende KU nisomee law. Hiyo ndo career yangu, ndio future career.
Education experts, however, say that students should use this period to make themselves better in their areas of weakness.
Ningekuwa mimi mwanafunzi ambaye anajiandaa katika mtihani mwaka ujao, ningekuwa na durusu zaidi sehemu ambaye nina unyonge. Kwa sababu walimu bado watapitia kazi ile. Sasa ile kazi isikupatie shaka sana, usiwe na tatizo sana kwa kusema labda siwezi kudurusu sehemu ambazo mwalimu hajafanya nini, hajafikia. Durusu sehemu ambazo una unyonge ama una udhaifu, zingatia sehemu hizo sana kwa undani. Ili wakati ambapo tutakuwa tunarudi shuleni, utakuwa tayari umebobea katika kazi ile na upo tayari kuendelea na silabasi yako. Pia ni nafasi bora kwa mwanafunzi ambaye yupo kidato cha 4 kujiandaa katika mitihani ya kimaisha. Kwa sababu baada ya 2021 huyu ni mwanafunzi ambaye atakuwa akiingia chuo kikuu katika shahada yake, kufanya shahada yake. Ni wakati bora sasa hivi. Tuna watoto ambao hawajui kazi za nyumbani. Kabisa. Ni wakati bora kwa wazazi kukaa na watoto wao, kuwajulisha, we say family values, societal values. Ukiwazungumzia hawa watoto hawajui hata sheria mbalimbali katika katiba. Ni wakati bora sana kuwafunza watoto wetu mambo kama haya.
Whether you are concerned about the new coronavirus or your child staying home for an indefinite period of time, it is essential to frame for your children what's unfolding in clear terms, as well as separate rumors from reality. Andrin Kilemi, TV47, Kibra, Nairobi.
Thank you for that special report, Andrine. Now, celebrated actor Charles Bukeko, famously known as Papa Shirandula, has been laid to rest at his home in Namisi Village, Busia County. Bukeko died at Karen Hospital in Nairobi on Saturday. Anok Loren now reports.
Having breathed his last at the age of 58, renowned actor Charles Bukeko, alias Papa Shirandula, was laid to rest early this morning in his village in Namisi, Busia County. The ceremony, which strictly adhered to the guidelines provided by the Ministry of Health in curbing the novel coronavirus, was graced by his fellow actors who worked hand in hand in his entertainment career. Widowed Beatrice Adanga narrated his journey of how he lived his last days, adding that she encouraged him to carry out a COVID-19 test since he had been engaging with many people.
I told him COVID-19 because you are mingling with so many people. I told him pneumonia and malaria because the weather is too cold in Nairobi.
Soon after developing breathing difficulties, the late Charles was rushed to the Karen Hospital in Nairobi, where he breathed his last.
I went to Karen Hospital. Admission was just another process. I'm telling you, please, he needs support and an emergency. The time they're still preparing, he passed on while I'm sitting in the vehicle. He was not even admitted. He passed on seated on the seat in the car.
The family has confirmed that Papa died of COVID-19. Nanok Lauren, TV 47.
And in other news, now there is still no agreement among EU leaders on a massive coronavirus recovery package after 3 days of intense meetings in Brussels. Now the leaders left the Marathon Summit early Monday morning and are set to resume talks. The summit was originally planned to end on Saturday. Talks have focused on a proposed package, a 7-year budget and a coronavirus recovery fund. And in